If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Bohemian Grove came and went this year. As it does every year, all these men get together in the woods, they plot what they're going to do to us, and nobody ever seems to care. Normally, we don't find out any information about the event. We don't find out the attendees. They keep it pretty quiet. But people should be very suspicious of why, presidents of major corporations, as well as singers, as well as, editors for New York Times, LA Times, these types of people are all meeting together. Like, what could they be conspiring about? Or what could they have in common that they'd all be there? Oh, because they're rich? You would think that these would be the things that people would ask. But what's hilarious, and you're going to crack up about this, is the stories that have come out from this year's Bohemian Grove. They don't revolve around people wondering why grown men are doing rituals such as the cremation of care, where they're doing mock murder sacrifices, and I say mock with a wink. The stories that have come out are about women being very upset that the Bohemian Grove is for men only. I kid you not. Those are the types of stories that are out. Elite campground Bohemian Grove draws scrutiny from local officials over no women's policy. Well, I have news for you. There's definitely some women that are there, because some of the men there are really women. But this is the type of story that comes out. I mean, they even managed to twist Bohemian Grove into their agenda. That's how insane this world is becoming. No mention of anything else. Nobody's suspicious of why these people are meeting and what they could be doing there for a whole weekend. Why presidents attend and governors attend and the CEOs of corporations like Coca-Cola attend and the editors of all these newspapers and magazines attend, and then throw in musicians and actors. Huh? I mean, what do they all have in common with each other? Oh, right. They're all Satanists. And what they're doing up there is nothing more than satanic rituals, as well as meeting together to go over the agendas of the year. I'm sure one of the big ones was about hate speech and more online censorship, because they're scared to death of people like me. But the news, of course, is about how this isn't fair, that women aren't allowed in the club. So apparently, what are we going to have next? The Boy Scouts are supposed to allow girls in. The Girl Scouts are the boys in. I mean, can I play in the WNBA? I'm pretty sure I could go out there and play basketball. I mean, no offense to any women out there. I'm pretty sure I could go out there. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of guys that go out there and beat women in basketball. So are men allowed to join the WNBA now? Women in the NBA? I mean, what insanity this type of stuff is. Listen to even how this is worded. I mean, we have the LA Times covering this. We have all these newspapers covering this. And the outrage isn't about, why are all of these people who all are very rich in positions of power, politics, and all that stuff, why are they doing a ritual where they pretend to kill a human, a child? I don't know. In front of a huge... Come on. You can't make this up. You really can't. Bohemian Grove, long a secluded playpen for an elite clique of business titans, power brokers, politicians, is drawing scrutiny from local officials in Northern California, over its exclusion of women. I'm tripping over my own words because this is ridiculous that I'm even reading this. Because look, every year when Bohemian Grove happens, this year it happened actually a little bit earlier, so that's why this is a little bit of a later story coming from me. But, I always look into it. Okay, is anything leaking? Is anything happening? Same with Bilderberg. And this is the story that comes out, is that there's an uproar that women aren't allowed in, as we have this ridiculous feminist movement happening. The Sonoma County Board of Supervisors is objecting to a law enforcement contract for the tree-lined outfit north of San Francisco. The club, which since its founding in 1872 has prohibited women from joining, uses $151,000 in police resources during their 18-day encampment in Monte Rio. The Bohemian Grove reimburses the county for its costs. Even with the reimbursements, this article is saying it's wrong to provide police protection for a male-only organization. Oh my, yes, because there's no women allowed. I mean, listen, there shouldn't be anybody there protect. Why do they need law enforcement? That should be the question, right? Why do they need law enforcement there? Where they say, oh, because people protest. Well, why would people be upset about these people meeting? You know, do you see people, like, if 50 people got together and went to the park for 3 days to, I don't know, camp or went to a camping ground? Do people be there protesting? They need police protection. They know why they need police protection, but why are people asking that question? Who cares about the fact that they pay them back? Of course they pay them back. They pay everyone there prints money. They don't even work. They have, all their businesses are fronts for trafficking for the most part. The organization has been criticized for years due to its secretive nature and elite guest lists. President Roosevelt, Hoover, Nixon, Reagan, Bush were reportedly guests at various points in their careers, along with cabinet officials, CEOs, military contractors, and prominent journalists. In 2000, then they go on to talk about Alex Jones. Bohemian Grove has long been a source of fascination for outsiders and conspiracy theorists. Yeah, why wouldn't we be fascinated by it? Because what could they be possibly doing getting together? That's what the question is. What a joke. The woman goes on, she says, this says, such secret rituals don't go down as well in 2019. Oh, so they talk about, I'll read this far. In 2000, Jones and his cameraman entered the camp with a hidden camera, as we all know, and were able to film a Bohemian Grove ceremony, cremation of care. During the ceremony, members wear costumes and cremate a coffin called Care before a 40-foot owl in the surrounding redwood trees. Quote, listen to this, such secret rituals don't go down as well in 2019. What do you mean they don't go down as well? They're saying like, oh, well, they did that in 2000. They're not doing that stuff anymore. I mean, are you kidding me? They're doing 10 times worse. You know how many stories have come out from local male prostitutes going in and out that come out and openly admit that there's kids there? So men who have gone in there as prostitutes have come out and said, yeah, I saw kids in there. And all sorts of awful stuff. But they know they'll get their heads blown off, or they'll just, have themselves an accident, or just, go missing. It says taking action might not be so easy. On Tuesday, supervisors asked the police contract to be postponed for a week so county attorneys could review it. The woman goes, how does this still exist in 2019? If the contract is rejected by... And she's not talking about how does the Bohemian Grove exist in 2019. That should be the question. How are we as a society, as a free society, allowing these things to happen in secret, where we know that they're up to no good, where they don't tell us what they're doing, and these are all people in positions of power. But no, the question is, how does this still exist in 2019 that women aren't allowed in? And remember, I've covered this before. They have their own female version of the Bohemian Grove. I've covered it before. Hillary's in it. They openly talk about their little... Eastern Star, pretty much, witch hangout. But they go on to talk about more about the contract. The contract, of course, obviously, it went through. If maybe these women are just completely clueless, or it's probably on obviously the people at Bohemian Grove probably created this story as a deflection in case anything comes out, because they're always afraid something might come out, right? And with the ridiculous technology they've created, somebody could probably fly a drone, although I would probably doubt, I guess it would get shot down. But they put this stuff out there too, just to go, oh, but wait. So when somebody Googles Bohemian Grove 2019, instead of, if anything comes up, all these stories are going to come up about how women aren't allowed inside, not about anything else. I mean, is this the world that we're living in? Is this what it's come down to now? Really? Women don't have rights? I mean, men are afraid to even say boo to a woman because they're afraid they're going to get sued for sexual harassment. I've yet to see a place where, women, we're not going to hire her because she's a woman, or, ooh, we're going to pay her less because she's a woman. We're going to offer the man this and the woman that, like they tell you on the news, because the company can be sued instantly and go bankrupt. I mean, all they have to do is just keep feeding out this information like women are mistreated. I mean, it's insane. And I love women. All men love women. We're crazy about them. But this kind of stuff is just insane. Like, there's no rights for women. Like, this is like they're, on their hands and knees brushing the floor, or, with their elbows. Cleaning toilets 24. I mean, give me a break. This is just the same divide and conquer nonsense. Keep pushing for more women in the workplace. That way, when the man and the woman are working, guess who the child's raised by? The institution, by the school system, which is completely controlled and thus does not have God in it. And thus they're just raising zombies and creating socially engineering a zombie society. But Bohemian Grove comes and goes like a fart in the wind. And what do we end up with? Well, instead of finding out what they're plotting to do to us and how much more poison they're probably plotting to dump on us from the skies or put in our food, talking about how they're going to make vaccines mandatory, and probably talking about how they're going to continue to push hate speech on anything that questions them and silence all quote-unquote conspiracy nuts, like they like to call us. No, it's just unbelievable that women aren't allowed in. Meanwhile, probably half of the dudes in there are women. And most of them are running around inside Bohemian Grove dressed up in drag. So go figure, right? I thank you for listening to today's show. Unbelievable. God bless all of you and your families.